They say the drums never lie. In our village, they only speak when something is about to change. They speak for birth. They speak for war. They speak when death is near. But that night, they spoke my name, not in words, in rhythm. Like a heart that knew something I didn't. And by morning, I realized something terrifying. The drums were not calling me to the village. They were calling me back to myself. This is CADnarrates. When I left the village, I swore I would never return. Not because I hated it, but because I had outgrown it. Or so I thought. I left with one suitcase and a scholarship letter. I returned years later with a car the color of midnight and shoes that cost more than a farmer earns in a season. The village gathered to welcome me. They called me successful. They called me blessed. The elders nodded with quiet pride. But I noticed something. They studied me, not with admiration, with caution. I laughed louder than necessary, spoke English when it wasn't needed, corrected proverbs mid-sentence. When my uncle mentioned the shrine festival, I smiled politely. We're educated now, I said. We don't need old stories to survive. The compound went silent. But I didn't notice. Success can make you deaf. The first night back, the air felt different. Thicker. Heavier. As if the village was holding its breath. Around midnight, I heard it. A low vibration, soft. Distant. 3 beats. Pause. 3 beats again. I sat upright in bed. The rhythm was slow, deliberate, not celebration, not alarm, summoning. My name wasn't spoken, but I felt it. With every pause, my chest tightened. I stepped outside. The moon was full, bright enough to reveal every shadow. The sound came from the direction of the drum house. But no torches were lit, no gathering, no movement. Then suddenly, silence. The drums stopped, like they had never existed. The next morning, I asked, "Who played the drums last night?" The villagers looked confused. What drums? Even the children shook their heads. The elders avoided my eyes. And one old woman whispered as she passed me, "The drums do not call without reason." The second night was worse. I tried to ignore it. Told myself it was wind, memory, imagination. But at midnight, the drums returned. Louder. Closer. This time, the rhythm matched my heartbeat. I pressed my hands against my ears. It didn't matter. The sound wasn't outside. It was inside. Each beat felt like accusation, like something buried was knocking to be remembered. I couldn't breathe. I ran, barefoot, through sand and shadow, to the drum house. The door was open. The drums stood tall and silent, untouched. No footprints, no sign of movement. But something felt wrong. I stepped inside. The air was colder, heavier. And then I saw it. A loose plank beneath the central drum. I don't know why, but I knelt down and pulled it open. Buried beneath the wood was a broken charm, beaded, cracked, familiar. My father's. My father had once been chosen as keeper of a vow, a promise made generations ago. Every first son in our bloodline was to maintain a small ritual of remembrance. Nothing dark, nothing dramatic, just gratitude, honor, connection. But when I left for the city, I mocked it. I told him it was superstition, backward, primitive. Education is our protection now, I said. He stopped the ritual, not because he believed me, but because he loved me. Months later, he collapsed in the fields. Sudden, unexplained, the village mourned. But no one blamed. They simply resumed the ritual quietly, without us. I stood in the drum house, shaking. The charm wasn't a curse. It was a symbol, reminder of something abandoned. At dawn, I went to the elders. My voice trembled. Why are the drums calling me? They looked at each other, confused. We have not played the drums, the chief said. No ceremony has been held. No gathering called. No one touched the drums. The words hit me slowly. If they didn't play them, then who did? I stepped outside. The village was calm, normal. Children laughed. Women swept their yards. Goats wandered freely. No fear, no alarm, just me, alone. with a sound only I could hear. That night, I waited. No fear, no anger, just listening. Midnight came, and so did the drums. But this time, I didn't run. I closed my eyes, and I listened deeper. The rhythm wasn't from the drum house. It wasn't from the forest. It wasn't even from the air. It was from my chest, my pulse, my breath, my guilt. The drums were never outside. They were inside me. The name being called was the version of myself I had buried. The boy who once sat under moonlight listening to stories. The son who once believed in roots. The man who once understood that tradition is not weakness. It is memory. The drums were not summoning me to punishment. They were summoning me to remembrance, to humility, to balance. And when I understood that, the rhythm changed. The next morning, I visited my father's grave. I brought water, palm wine, and silence. Not because I feared the drums, but because I finally understood them. You can leave the village. You can chase success. You can build towers taller than tradition. But you cannot silence what formed you, because the loudest drums are the ones within. And when they call your name, you must answer. This is CADnarrates.